was
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Rao.
Can you hear me, Kristen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everybody. I am a little late today because my devices did not start up, but now they are good. Uh, yeah, I'm here to share some um hacks to deal with the what is happening with the long haulers of the COVID. And I see a lot of friends and family hearing about these long haulers, but I've been in touch with the patients who were recovered from the COVID, but then they continue to have symptoms for a long time. So I thought I will share with what I have been sharing with people. I also made a couple of videos. Hopefully, they will run well. If they run, I'll play them. But this is not going to be just today. I want to do this for a while because COVID is reoccurring, and there are no definitive real treatments for the long haul because it is so varied. Okay, so. Uh, Hi, Kristen. Kristen is one of the active uh, persons working with
Hi,
that.
Dr. Rao.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise behind you. So maybe she's in a place where she cannot really. There's a lot of noise, Kristen. Um, so uh, maybe I'll wait for you to till you get you a good spot. Okay. So I was always talking about uh, how to improve our inner resilience so that we'll be able to deal with this kind of long chronic disease. Okay, for any chronic disease, you got to understand what is the inner resilience that we could do and how it can be helping us for the long run, right? So that involves wellness. You have to understand what is to be well, how can we can mess it up with our lifestyles, and also paying honest attention to that, and then working with them is a important thing, right? That's what people really miss out because they are too busy taking care of the family or working, so many reasons. Okay, they're not just deliberately doing it, but a lot of people, they are like uh, they kind of occupied with doing something in their life, and then usually the health is the first one that gets neglected because they want to eat and they want to exercise, they want to do all those things at the last. Okay, I know a lot of my colleagues who are the doctors and nurses, they think sitting down and eating is a waste of time. They grab something on the way and then they gulp it down. Okay, so self-care, right? But I've talked about a little bit more than self-care, how we can improve our wellness, our vitality, our inner resilience, and all that. All they require is just be aware of what is happening with my eating habits, with my moving habits, exercise habits, with my habits of calming myself down, how much I'm working on myself. It comes down to that. Okay, long COVID is much more important because they are actually having symptoms like I know one person who is very athletic, used to run on a marathon, but not able to climb the 4 or 5 steps that is in front of her house. Not even just after the COVID, several months later also. So that's a real problem, and they have to fix it, right? So I kind of teach what is the correct breathing, how can we improve deep breathing, and all that. Okay, that will be very important for that. Then people are losing a lot of energy and they have fatigue a lot. Okay, so even with the small things, they are getting fatigued. So I kind of adopt ways of Eastern philosophy, Eastern ways where slow, gradual training of the body rather than straining training. That's like a yin yoga, like a very low stretch yoga. Those things are very important. You can do advanced yoga where you are very pumping, hard pumping, and then you will feel like you are really tired and all that. But then the type of yoga that I teach for the people who are having chronic disease or who have underlying conditions or who are new to this, something like that. Okay, so uh, be mindful of that. So we'll be talking about that, and a lot of brain fog, a lot of memory loss, a lot of really headaches, and all these things are also reported. So you name it, they have myriads of complaints because in long COVID, what happens is there are small clots that happen in the blood vessel, and then they can go and lodge in major organs like the kidney, like the brain, like the lung and heart. And then we have seen a heart attack in a cardiologist. She was a cardiologist from California, and she was practicing, but she has this COVID, and after that she had a atrial fibrillation, she had a cardiac attacks and all that after several months, and she was not recovering even after months with this. Okay, so this is a real concern, real problem. So I kind of teach people how to develop inner resilience by paying attention to four pillars, the same old ones: the diet, the exercise, the rest and sleep, and calming the mind. Okay, so I want this to be more like a interactive discussion, and we can answer people's questions as they come up, and also we will try to present those videos, and also I will describe my services that are available for people to come and join my wellness club, and also do yoga, do the breathing, do the meditation, everything with me, so that I can take them from where they are to where they want to be. It cannot be enforced or forced on them. You have to let them ease into these things slowly and deliberately, and with compassion and empathy. Okay. Christine, are you available to speak now? I think her mic was not working. Chris?
Yes. I'm able to talk.
Yeah.
I don't know if you how well you could hear me, but
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm able to talk.
I can hear you. Tell me about what is going on with you, your experience.
Well, it pretty much started after having COVID in December 2020. I had very painful, like burning feet at night. I would like take a shower or a bath, and I wouldn't be able to feel like the temperature, so I would have kind of like a peripheral neuropathy.
Okay.
And it would feel like my feet were like burning on the bottom. And at first I thought it was like Achilles, like the plantar fasciitis, but it wasn't. And I would have to keep like a bottle of aloe vera right next to my bed. So like every night between maybe like 12 and 2 a.m., I would just wake up and my feet and sometimes even like my back would be like burning, like on fire. Like you could see that it was red. You could feel the temperature of it.
Yeah.
Also, I had a lot of fatigue, brain fog, migraine headaches, shortness of breath, especially going upstairs, and lack of concentration. So I would have difficulties with like peripheral vision perception.
Yeah.
As far as like when I would go to park, I had a time where I pulled into a parking space, looked normal to me, but I ended up hitting the side of where the shopping carts would go.
Yeah.
Also, just I had like aversions to smell, so the smell of chicken or onions or garlic would smell very rotten to me.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to really be near the smell of cooking chicken or, you know, to cut an onion to prepare a meal. Anything savory had a very bad smell, and I would have to wear gloves, or because I would feed my dog chicken, and I would have to literally cook it in like a slow cooker with the lid on so that I would avoid the smell, because if I smelled it, I would literally get to the point of like throwing up. When I would go into like a store or like air conditioning, I was also getting like phantom smells where I would smell the smell of like smoke.
Yeah.
And I've had an episode with like driving my husband's truck where I felt as though the pedal was getting like red hot, and I was smelling the smell of gasoline throughout the truck, like as though there was like a gas leak. So I remember a couple of times I had to roll down all of the windows, like in order to like breathe fresh air.
Can you tell us?
This was all something that was happening without me realizing that it wasn't a smell that really existed.
Can you tell us the time frame, Christine, on this?
Well, a lot of these symptoms had gone on for over 2 years.
Okay.
2 to 2.5 years. Recently, I've started to feel some improvement. I did end up getting like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. My weight increased greatly because I spent a lot of time in bed with fatigue, and lack of exercise, and you know, not really. I was more tending to eat more sweet or sugary type flavors on proteins, because the savory, like I said, I had like that aversion to the smell or taste.
Yeah.
But that since then has been gone. But my weight went from around 140 all the way up to 310 pounds.
Wow.
In just from December 2020 up until about a couple of months ago.
Okay.
So I tried physical therapy. I did pulmonary rehab for I think maybe 16 weeks.
Okay.
The pulmonary rehab helped, but with physical therapy, I really struggled in being consistent.
Yeah.
Because I was experiencing post-exertional malaise, where I would do something and it would be too much for me, and I would end up in bed for anywhere from 2 to 3 days. When I had to move at the time, another thing that I went through was I had like an episode where I was sick for about a week, where I got flu symptoms similar to COVID, and you know, muscle pains and exhaustion and migraines, where like the back of my neck and head like tensed up very tight and wouldn't release.
Yeah.
So those type of things would be really, really hard, and it would keep me in bed with just electrolytes and, you know, just barely able to get up out of the bed to use the restroom.
Okay.
So it was really hard.
Now, you have been with this wellness club with me. Tell us the improvements that you see after you joined and practicing for a while.
So waking up today, you know, I felt really happy, because, you know, there's days where like I notice the difference more than others. There's days that I have more energy than others, but I've noticed that I've seen an improvement in my sleep quality, because I was getting up before I started about 8 or 10 times a night to use the restroom, and now I get up a lot less. I've also noticed that I started to get a little bit of muscles on my legs, and before I couldn't even feel any muscle at all. When I would walk, I would only feel the bottom of my feet, like the bottom of, you know, where my shoe touched the ground, because my muscles were so deconditioned that I didn't
Okay.
have really
Take
good
a
muscles.
take a moment and recall what are the things that improved for you, the fatigue, shortness of breath, and all. Let's meet Ashley. Hi, Ashley. How are you? Ashley, are you there? Your mic is muted. I can't hear you.
In the right bottom corner, Ashley, if you tap the mic, you'll be able to speak.
Maybe her app is not working properly. She went out. Maybe she will come back. Anyway, you tell us briefly what are the symptoms that really improved now, and what are the things that I taught you that you are doing for the benefit of other people, so that they can understand what is the difference. Okay, Christine.
Yes, so we like during the weekdays, every day we've been doing gentle movements of yoga and asanas, and there a lot of them are modified in order that I would be able to do them like safely and without feeling injured, and also just to slowly recondition my body. Another thing that we did is deep breathing. So usually the second half hour of the session we do several deep breathing exercises, and I felt that they've helped a variety of different things. They've helped, some of the exercises have helped calm myself, some have helped before going to sleep, and some have helped kind of reset the autonomic nervous system in order that I could feel calm. We've also learned about some meditation exercises as far as, just calming the mind, being in the present, and being aware of our thoughts.
Okay, thank
So
you,
that
Kristen. Let me introduce them to the Wellness Club and the principles behind it, and I'll come back to you for other things. See, as she came as a student, I began to show her what are the aims of the Wellness Club is to get students to be here and now, and then deep breathe into all the exercises, and also do both sides of the body. Those three principles I emphasize. I made her do the breathing exercise slowly, and I taught her about doing the yoga in a gentle way, and asked her to listen to her body and observe what is happening with her body. That is not like physical therapy where physical therapists just to want to get better sooner, or they are doing their job, they push people. Sometimes bodies are not going to accept that, and what Christine told me before, the physical therapist, she was tiring out too much, obviously, right? And then she was not able to function very well after that. So even though they were making her with good intention, that may not be the intensity that you want. So you got to start from where you are. That's what I tell my students, to start where they are, and then be compassionate and kind and gentle to their own bodies and minds. As a teacher, I kind of see them, assess them, how they are, what kind of body shape they are in, what kind of fitness they are in. So as they make slow progress, which is what you should be doing, you should be listening to your body, but at the same time have a regular routine where you can train yourself. Training means, I gave Christine about few things in the chair in the beginning. Then I taught her head to toe yoga, which she was doing, and then I kind of took her to a little bit more asanas. So as a teacher, I need to observe what is the shape they are in. Especially COVID people, they have a lot of complaints, like Kristen enumerated so many things were going on. It's kind of frustrating. You can't even function normally, right? That's why be gentle, do these slow exercises with mindfulness, and also breathing should be very, very slow but persistent. If you do too much, too fast, then the body and mind will revolt against you. So in my wellness club, what I do with the students is let them go at their own pace to begin with, but at the same time, I insist that they do something every day. when they are doing that, then I can increase the intensity a little bit more, So first we make them stand, then sit properly, then do the twisting, and then bending forward, bending backward, all the time nourishing with the deep breathing. And also hydration. You should be well hydrated. And also when you are coming into the class, more like you have to be, empty stomach. So these kind of regular exercises, breathing or physical exercises, are training your mind to be here, very key for you for any recovery from any disease, more so for the long COVID. That's what we wanted to introduce you, and because Kristen is the current student coming at 9 o'clock Central Time. Usually, other people come at 6 o'clock Central, and then some people are coming in the evening too. So hours you can be chosen, but basically consistent attention to your nutrition, to your movement, and moving the body and keeping the mind quiet. That's what I tell her all the time. Okay, so if you can do that, then you can go to work and also do functional fitness. That means you are using your own body for having some exercise at work, without doing much. Not deliberately, but you are doing your work, and that work could be lifting weights or bringing groceries or climbing the stairs or walking in the corridor. Any number of things you can do by yourself, without equipment, without anything. But then when you're doing it, be mindful. When you're doing it, breathe deeply. Kristen was doing some of the breathing exercises I showed her in the car. So from somebody who was having a lot of problems, now she is able to enjoy what she is doing, and also she has the energy and no fatigue. So eventually she will improve. Hi Ashley, can you speak now? Hello Ashley. Maybe she doesn't know how to unmute that. Ashley, can you speak now? Okay. So this is why I want to run these classes for a while, because even my students also sometimes they feel the improvement, but they have to be articulate about it. That takes some time. Some people write them down, like Christine does a good job, and she writes them all these things down. And I have a record of all the. That's a very good that she's making progress. So she's actively participating every day. She's coming and she's doing them in the class and also out of the class. That's really excellent, because if you really are aware of your body and mind throughout the day, and then really know what is going to be harmful to you if you let it continue, for example, prolonged sitting, right? Suppose you are doing something sitting down, talking on the phone or doing chat work, whatever, then you will tend to sit and then you are not really aware that you are doing something harmful to you. Instead, get up 10 minutes and 15 minutes and just move a little bit that way and this way, and that will be good. Or if you have a telephone call, get up and walk and talk. This is all, all our mobile devices, right? So you can easily move around. So take opportunity at the workplace to move around to your capacity. Don't overdo it, to your capacity. Suppose if you feel dizzy, headache, and then not able to move, be careful, okay? That kind of thing. So always being aware of what is happening in the body, what's happening in the mind, very, very important, okay? So that's what we I want to say. And she has network issues, okay? uh, so Ashley sent a message that she has network issues. That's okay, because she showed up. I thought she have some questions or something about her. She will tell us. But unfortunately, the network issues are there for her. So this is what we want to focus on this room. What is the COVID issues? I will take them as the people come in, as they have issues, they can present, and then we can suggest ways for them that they could adopt and they could come out of this suffering that they are going through. They can but continue to see their doctor and get the medical treatment that is there. But this is more like a support system that I want to give to all the patients, all the people also. I am into proactive wellness. That means you understand what is wellness, where in the wellness your body and mind should be, and what are the proactive things that you could do. That means not somebody is going to tell you, but you yourself find out what are the things I'm supposed to eat, what are the things I'm supposed to avoid, what are the um, opportunities for me to move my body, exercise my body, how do I rest qualitatively, how do I sleep quality wise. All those things, if you learn and do them as a regular practice, then the body will require. Imagine like this: suppose you have some injury or hospitalized, you coming out of it, then you need to start again from the beginning, right? And then help the body to learn how to bear weight, how to balance itself, how to go. All those things are important, right? Like that, you take any chronic disease, especially something like COVID, that is sapping out of the energy of people. What happens is the immune response that you have to the virus itself causes problems chemically within you, right? Lots of people succumb to the cytokine syndrome. Really, a lot of people succumb because of the reaction to the virus. Because the novel virus, we don't have the immunity, we had that problem. Nowadays, at least we can give medications in the beginning and help your immune system fight better. But at the time, it was not there, right? So, a lot of good things are happening in terms of how to recover medically, how to recover testing wise, so that we can know much ahead than before. Before, people were not really sure or confused. But now we know what are the mutations happening. There's a one mutation that's going on now, that they have a vaccine, they're going to give an upgrade. I suggest people to take that unless they are allergic to vaccine or something, and then also mitigant measures. Apart from that, have a program like this that will get you for the long-term rehabilitation. One of the things she told me was pulmonary have helped Christine, but my pranayama is much deeper. She has not even got the beginning of it because it takes some time for her lungs to get used to it. She is doing regularly. That's a good thing, okay? But she will gain more power, more capacity in the lungs as she is doing more. And then as you do it more and more, you will be able to do it. So learn the technique of how to do those breathing at my class, and then go and practice it as much as you possible. But when you do it, be careful about how your system responds. Then you always take rest and just take it easy. And then after you recover your full energy, then come back and do that. That kind of persistent, steady, slow training, not straining, training. That means you have a goal, you reach that, then you extend the goal. Okay, so we will ask Christine to sit down and write down all the improvements that she made, so the other people will be benefited listening to that. I know it does, because these are the ways the ancient people developed to and lived a very healthy beyond 100 years, 120 years and all. And they were very sharp in mind, they were very strong in their body, they are very agile, and then they kind of really had a lot of joy and happiness in their life. And they were very creative people too. So I kind of bring those hacks into our modern life, because we are loaded with information overload, we are loaded with a lot of stress and burnout, we are doing lots of stuff, and then we are keeping our phones at the time, all the time, and then we are not taking the breaks from it. Okay, so that's where I will stop for today. And then we have introduced it, and then we will do this on a weekly basis at this hour on Saturday noon, and we will send more invitations to people. And there are people who are coming to Maya McNulty's room. We'll tell them also, so that people make use of this and then get some relief from the suffering of the long COVID. Okay, that's my intention. Okay, So I will see you again next Saturday. Okay, Christine?
Thank you, Dr. Rao.
Okay. I'll see you next week then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.